A historic mansion is reborn in Evanston, Illinois, plus how you can help give shelter to homeless veterans. That's up next. Your real estate news starts now. Thank you for watching your real estate news. I'm Stacy Hansen. Let's take a look at your headlines. More than a dozen veterans came together to attend Operation Tiny Home in Mount Pleasant, Wisconsin recently. The three-day workshop teaches carpentry and construction skills while building a tiny home in a weekend, according to the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. The resulting 100-square-foot wheeled home will be used for transitional housing for homeless veterans in Racine. Operation Tiny Home is a pay-it-forward veteran housing program created in response to housing instability and homelessness among veterans. According to the program's website, 1 out of every 4 homeless individuals nationwide are veterans, and more than 1.5 million veterans are living in poverty. To learn more about the program or to make a donation, visit www.operationtinyhome.org. The Oscar Mayer Mansion in Evanston, Illinois has been reborn. Realtor.com reports that real estate attorney Scott Hargadorn and his business partner bought and rehabbed the home before putting it on the market this summer. The century-old mansion is currently listed as a 6-bedroom, 4.5-bath home for $2.95 million. Hargadorn said the structure is in effect a brand new 2016 house inside the shell of a house from 1901. The home's architecture is what makes it stand out, according to the home's listing agent. It has original woodwork, hardwood floors, and art glass windows. Those are now coupled with modern features like a chef's kitchen with high-end appliances. The home was bought by Oscar G. Mayer, who was the son of the founder of the meat processing company in the 1920s. The home remained in the family until 1967. Women are the primary borrower on 32% of millennial mortgages, and most of those women, more than 60%, are single, according to HousingWire. A spokesperson for Ellie Mae said that there is a significant difference in marital status between millennial male and female primary borrowers. Just 41% of young male primary borrowers are single. That being said, RealtyTrack's recent analysis showed that homes owned by single men have an average 10% greater value and appreciate 16% more than homes owned by single women. Ellie Mae's online millennial tracker tool indicated other trends as well. More millennials tend toward FHA loans than the general population. They account for 37% of FHA closed loans versus about 23% among the general population. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more real estate news right after this. And welcome back to the Real Estate News. I'm now with Kirsten Goggin with Century 21. Welcome back, Kirsten. Good to see you again.
Thanks. Same to you.
So how is that new listing, the one you talked about last time on North Star Drive?
722 North Star Drive, gone.
Wow, that was fast.
Oh yeah, well that's this market, and with the right marketing and if it's priced appropriately, it's gone in a matter of days. So if you're thinking of selling, definitely give me a call or visit sellwithkj.com.
Yeah, you're having a hard time keeping some listings there.
Keeping any inventory because they all keep selling. You know what? That's a good problem to have. So
yeah,
I'll take it.
Exactly. So we talked also about Market Snapshot a little bit last time. Now, is this just for sellers or is it also for buyers?
That is an awesome question. It does sound like it's just for sellers because it gives you the overall idea is that it gives you an idea of your home value. However, it's a very useful tool for buyers as well because they can put in what they're looking for in terms of a single family home or condo and the bedroom square footage, all that good stuff, and then it will pull up the homes that are currently listed and have recently sold in those areas that are of interest to them.
Is this mobile friendly?
Absolutely, yep. It's actually just been redesigned, so it's newer and better, and it's ready to go for tablets or mobile or cell phones. So you could use it on either.
So super convenient. Now, I wonder kind of what's the difference between this Market Snapshots and listing alerts?
Sure. So listing alerts are something that you can set up within the Market Snapshot. So if you are thinking of selling soon or if you are currently listed, I often set those up in addition to just the Market Snapshot, which shows you kind of what's going on in the neighborhood. But the listing alerts, it's more reoccurring. So you're going to get notified immediately, like in real time as it happens, when something that is similar or whatever matches your criteria is listed or sold that matches your search parameters.
So I have to ask, with things like Zillow out there, why use this as opposed to just kind of
the
using that?
estimates where a $200,000 house
Yeah.
is worth $5. But I don't know quite where Zillow gets their information from, but I can speak to, because I get that question a lot, because it seems to be either way under or way over. But Market Snapshot pulls from the MLS that exact market data. So it's going to be very accurate, and it's free, and you also aren't going to have a million agents, lenders, people contacting you. It's just you can set up the frequency so you can receive it weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly if you want. And if anytime you decide that the information is no longer useful, you can just unsubscribe.
So it sounds like a great tool to use. Well, thanks so much, Kirsten. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Visit sellwithkj.com. Click on What's My House Worth.
And welcome back to the Real Estate News. I'm now with Andrew Kimball, owner of Kimball Realtors. Welcome back, Andrew. So how are things up in the Dells?
Very busy. It's been a great summer up there. The market is really moving fast up there right now.
Oh, good to hear. A good business for you. Now, do you work with people for investment properties?
We sure do. In fact, just recently we listed the Sandrift Motel, which is on Hiawatha Avenue, right on Lake Delton. Actually has frontage on Lake Delton, and it's a 15-unit motel. And we also represent several vacation homes and condominiums that can be used for short-term rentals as well, for people that are looking for an investment of a short-term rental.
Any advice for people that are maybe looking to do a short-term rental?
Yeah, one of the very first things you need to do is find out if it's permitted by the city or township that you're going to be doing the short-term rentals in, because it varies from even neighborhood to neighborhood if you'll be able to get the permit for the short-term rentals. So anyone that we're working with, we make sure we put the offer contingent upon getting the approval permit for that short-term rental.
What about a condo as a short-term rental? Do you see that happening?
Yeah, we actually deal with several different condominium associations that do allow short-term rentals, and there also you're going to need to make sure that you can get a permit from the city or township that the condominium is located in, but also that that condominium association allows short-term rentals, because some do and some don't. And we have a complete list available of the ones that do and do not allow the short-term rentals.
Well, what about financing? I'm wondering, can people obtain financing if it's just a short-term rental?
They can, but it is unique in the financing because it becomes almost like a commercial loan. So it's different than a traditional real estate loan. And so you need to talk to your lender right away to tell them that you're looking at a condominium for short-term rentals or vacation home for short-term rentals. And we have several lenders that we work with that are able to get people financing for those short-term rentals. But it is different. You can plan on putting a larger down payment down on it, and you really need to let your lender know that right from the beginning. And again, we can set you up with a lender as well that can help with those questions.
Well, great to know that you can do that. Where can people see some of the properties that you have for sale right now?
Yeah, if you visit our website, WisconsinDellsHomesForSale.com, you can look under our listings and you'll be able to see the motel that we have listed there, also several other vacation homes, condominiums, they're all on there. You can also contact me directly, and I'd love to meet with you at our office. Our office is at 805 River Road in downtown Wisconsin Dells, and I'd love to meet with you one-on-one on what the differences is and when you're looking at getting a short-term rental.
Yeah, exciting, and that would definitely be a lot of fun there up in the Dells area. Well, thanks so much for stopping by again today, Andrew.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
And welcome back to the Real Estate News. I'm now with John Hammer. He's the owner of Wall Fixer Uppers. Welcome, John. Good to have you here. So it has been a stormy summer. What kind of damage can people start seeing to their home in weather like this?
Hi, Stacy. Thanks for having me on your show today. Typical damage from storms would be damage to your roof, siding, gutters, insulation, and ceilings. These damages occur from hail, wind, and water.
So it really can hit a lot of different places, and we've certainly had a lot of hail and water. Now, what about if you start to notice some yellowing in your ceiling from a big storm? What does that mean? Is that really bad? Is that an easy fix? What's happening there?
Yes, yellowing on your ceiling indicates water getting into your house.
Oh, so that could definitely not be good. Are you looking at mold issues sometimes then if you're not dealing with that?
Yes, you are.
Yes, you probably want to hit that right away. Now, what should people do then if they're noticing this?
If you notice any staining, you should call a professional to check the areas, to have the areas inspected.
So would you typically just kind of do that area, or do you kind of look around the whole house? Because you mentioned, like, I think gutters and all that too.
Inspect the ceiling, wherever you got water damage, inspect those areas, and then follow up where the water travels through.
Okay, now if people don't get to this right away, what could happen? We talked about mold a little bit.
If not addressed, the moisture can create a breeding ground for mold, which we all know mold can be hazardous to your health.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of times too, I think it's not covered by insurance too if you start getting a lot of mold in there. So you definitely want to avoid that. So just to kind of ask you, why would you say that people shouldn't try to do this themselves? Why they should maybe call a professional like yourself?
The headaches, the liabilities, if you don't know what you're doing, you don't really want to get into it on your own. You're better off getting a professional that knows what they're doing and know what they're dealing with.
So people could easily be making it worse if they're not totally familiar with it, I take it, huh?
Yes, that's correct, Stacey.
Okay, so yeah, definitely want to get that checked out. Now, if people are seeing some of these things, how can they get a hold of you?
They can contact me at 608-669-6336, or they can find me at wallfixeruppers.com.
All right, well, thanks so much, John. So nice to meet you. Thanks for coming on the show.
Likewise, thank you, Stacey.
And welcome back. With me now is Diane Holmes. She's a realtor with RE/MAX Preferred. Welcome back, Diane. Good to see you again.
Oh, thank you, Stacy. Thank you for having me back.
Great to see you.
Nice to be here.
So what's it like out there right now in the real estate market?
Well, it's funny because right now, March Madness, people think about basketball. But in real estate, it is madness right now. And it's typical. March, April, and May are always our busiest selling seasons.
But that's a good thing, right?
It's a great thing. However, because there are more buyers than there are sellers right now, the good thing is for sellers, it's a seller's market. So they tend to get more for their property. But I'm looking for listings. So I would like to ask your viewing audience, if they're thinking about selling their home this year, to call me. And there's no obligation as far as listing with me, but I will give you a market study which shows how much your home is currently worth, give you staging advice, and also a free pre-listing home inspection, which means I'll have the home inspector go through your house and see if there's any defects that maybe you're not aware of, or the buyer will find later with their inspector. So it's good to know ahead of time.
Wow, that's great. I mean, they really can't lose with that. I mean, that's a great offer.
It is. And my number is 608-444-4409. So thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Now, do you have any houses for sale right now that you want to tell us about?
I do. And since preparing for this interview, Stacy, 2 of them have sold.
Oh, well, wow, good for you.
But I'll mention them briefly just because they haven't closed yet. I have one in Fitchburg, 2803 Marledge Street, for $249,900, 3-bedroom, 2-bath for about 2,100 square feet, and then there's a gorgeous screen porch and a gourmet kitchen. But so hopefully it'll close. And the next one is 1012 Hillview Drive, and that is in the village of Black Earth. It's $210,000, 2,100 square feet, and this also has an offer. But let me tell you about the other ones that are still available. The first one is on Lake Mendota. It's 5378 Bluebill Park Drive. It's listed for $625,000. It's about a 10-year-old home. It's gorgeously appointed. 5 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, over 4,000 square feet of living space, and a beautiful pier and a beautiful location. And the next one, I will jump over to Lake Monona, and this one is 4931 Toniawatha Trail. It's listed for $725,000. It's smaller. It's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, about 2,000 square feet, and it's kind of perched on a hill with a gorgeous view of the Capitol.
Well, those all sound great. I'm not surprised that they're going so quickly.
I know.
Thanks so much for stopping by, Diane.
Hey, thank you so much, Stacy. I'll hope to see you again soon.
And stay tuned. And welcome back to the Real Estate News. I'm now with Chris Thomas. He's the owner of Right on Target Real Estate. So Chris, we're hearing a lot from people about saying they're calling about listings and then they're finding out it's already got an accepted offer. Do you have any advice for buyers just to avoid that happening to them?
Yeah, we started this system where when we're working with buyers, we try to find out kind of what's important to them, and we kind of have them make a wish list, and we set up a specialized MLS search so that every time new properties come on the market, it automatically emails them those listings. The nice thing about that is a lot of those apps out there that you see that are being advertised, they don't have up-to-date information on them. So what ends up happening is you call on a house that you think is available and it's not. So our system actually gives you the most up-to-date information, and it helps people from losing out on those houses that are really nice, and they could get in there and find if they like them quicker.
Now, do you feel that having an experienced agent like yourself to help people buy and sell a home really gives them a big advantage?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. I believe that it definitely helps when you have somebody that's kind of been through the process a lot like myself. Certainly the market's always changing. There's been times where it's been more of a buyer's market. There's been now times where it tends to be more of a seller's market. And we have to be able to advise them on how to go into a deal and kind of raise some certain expectations for them so they know what they need to expect. I mean, right now there's a lot of times where you have to make really strong offers on houses, otherwise you'll lose out on them. So some agents are afraid to tell their clients that sort of stuff, and it'll end up costing them big, you know, if they want a house and they lose it.
That's so true, and it's definitely worth hearing if it's going to mean you're more likely to get your dream home. So how has your buyer system been working then in this seller's market?
It's been great. I think what happens is it saves people a lot of time because they're not driving around and looking for houses that aren't even available. It certainly allows us to really weed out houses that don't match their criteria, so that definitely helps. And then when they do find the house that they truly like, what ends up happening is we could get on in there and look at it really quick. So if they want to write an offer, we can do that before other people get in the door.
Yeah, and it's definitely important to be fast about that. Now, what other advice can you give home buyers to prepare them for this market?
Well, you know, home buyers out there, they really have to realize that they can't really wait. If they see a house and they think, well, I'm going to wait 3-4 days to give me a call to let me know if they want to see it. They really have to get into these houses relatively quickly because they just don't last if they're nice houses and they're priced right especially. So I think that's the biggest thing. We also want to make sure that they're already pre-approved before we go out with them. So that way if they do write an offer on a property, their offer looks stronger because they actually have that pre-approval letter attached to their offer.
Absolutely, and that way you can just hit the ground running. Well, thanks so much for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
And welcome back to the Real Estate News. I'm now with Josh Lavick. He's a real estate agent with Keller Williams. Hi, Josh. Thanks for coming on this show today. So what's going on in your world in real estate this month?
Hey Stacy, thanks for having me on again. Well, it's summertime in real estate, and that's usually a busier time of the year, as you can imagine. Most people want to move when it's warmer out. So the market's been moving quickly. We've actually, you may recall, last month we had a couple great new listings. Some of those are actually under contract now. One couple, Heather and Dave, they had a small starter home on the east side of Madison. Weren't really thinking about moving, but then, you know, had heard that it's a good seller's market, that it might be a good time to move, and so they decided to upgrade and get into a larger home, and they were able to make that happen. So they're really excited.
Well, that is exciting. Now, was it a challenge finding them their next home then, since it is such a seller's market?
Certainly, yeah. It is a little bit of a challenge. You know, I'm not going to lie about that. You know, you definitely got to stay on top of the market as far as what's available, almost on a daily or weekly basis. But you know, that's part of the advantage of having a really good buyer's agent on your side, is that, you know, they can really help stay on top of things. You know, you might see on various websites of a lot of homes that may or may not be available, and, you know, having a good agent on your team is important. That's part of what makes our team different. You know, we've really got a team-based structure. So Courtney, she's our buyer's agent. My primary focus is actually helping sellers on the listing side, and then we also have a couple other admin people on our team to really create a great experience for our customers.
Yeah, you guys really have a good system over there, just to kind of keep everything so well-rounded. You're on top of everything. Yeah. What else are you seeing in the market?
Yeah, so since it is such a seller's market, I will say, sometimes buyers are getting frustrated due to competing with multiple offers. I had one instance, actually, I wrote an offer for a guy, he was an attorney, and he's really used to a lot of negotiations and was really upset that we never got a counteroffer back. We never actually had an opportunity to negotiate. They had, multiple offers on this property, and we just got an email reply basically saying, oh, sorry, we picked another offer. So, really that's the benefit of having a really good listing agent on your side if you're thinking about selling, so that you can really negotiate with all potential buyers out there and really help get the best possible price and best terms and best offer that you possibly can. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, do you have some other great listings that you've got coming up to share with us?
Well, of course we do. So probably the highlight of our new listings is this amazing luxury home we've got. It's on 50 acres, hilltop site, amazing views up by Crystal Lake. This is up by the town of Roxbury. 8,700 square feet, 5 bedrooms, 4.5 baths, incredible views. Solid brick, high-end finishes throughout. I mean, it's absolutely incredible.
That sounds awesome. I bet that one's gonna fly right out. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly. It's incomparable, basically. So another good one we have, a new one over on Camp Leonard Road. This is in McFarland, actually on Lake Wabisa as well. This is kind of unique too because it has 350 feet of frontage. Well, if you've ever looked at lakefront property, most of the homes over there are like 50 or 60 feet of frontage. So this is really a huge, substantial amount right on the water. So, and it includes actually 2 houses on the same property. So pretty cool spot there. We've also got another 7-acre parcel over of land where, there's the neighbor is actually building a beautiful $1 million home right next to it. So beautiful property to build your dream home if you want, just over $300,000. So
wow, those sound like some great opportunities.
For sure.
Thanks so much for stopping by again, Josh.
Thank you.
Special thanks to our guests for stopping by today and to you, our viewers, for tuning in. Be sure to join us again next week. I'm Stacy Hansen for the Real Estate News, making a positive impact and leading the real estate market.